Guys, what's going on? I'm honestly having so much fun with this back-end engineering tutorial. I know it's super early on, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for popping by and taking this back-end journey with me. Let's go. I'll see you in this episode today. Meh, 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 meh. Golly, guys, we are back. We are back. Episode 3 of Learning Backend Engineering. I'm honestly so excited for this. I look forward to the Backend Engineering series every day. At this point, it's only been 2 days or 3 days. Excuse me. I should have set myself up with a water here. I've set myself up for a challenging episode, folks. But I'm here for it. So we're in boot.dev for those following. We're diving into Python and just learning from ground zero. We are going to build out a robust set of backend knowledge. So learning Python obviously and Node.js is important. So let's dive in though. Let's focus. Let me zoom in a bit for y'all. And let's talk about variables within Python. So variables are how we store data in our program. Let's just freaking dive into the topic, guys. Boot.dev, by the way, totally fantastic. My girl was slightly, she's like, wait, what are you doing? Is this a game? Is this? And I was like, you gotta check this out. It's so cool. So I actually showed her all the fun stuff. But anyway, let's dive in. So variables, it's how we store data in our program. So far, we've been directly printing data by passing it directly into the print function. Now we're going to learn how to save data in variables so we can use it and change it before we need to print it. A variable is a name that we define as anything we want that will point to some data. For example, I could define a new variable called my height and set its value to 100. I could also define a variable called my name and set it equal to lane, and set it equal to lane. Oh, I see, it's a string. Okay, so guys, variables can literally be anything you want. Maybe I'll even say this: anything you want to type, and you can declare it as this. So the computer doesn't care what your variable actually is per se. It just cares about the data stored here. It doesn't care what you describe it. The reason why you describe it on the left is so we other humans can read it. The machine itself does not care if it's a string, this, that, the other. Oh, so and you actually don't use an equals. Just a small teaching point. Equals is not that I'm trying to be the guru of teachers here, guys, but equals is not equals here. It's assignment. It's saying I'm describing this text and I'm assigning it the value of 10 or 1 or some string value of my name. So it's not actually equals. It's saying I'm assigning this as a so just a little bit of a thing. So oh, perfect. They even have my new variable here, and they said anything, or this can be called anything. So just further illustrating the point. So okay, so to create a new variable, boom, we use the following syntax. The assignment is we need to create a new variable called player health. Set it equal to 1,000. So again, this is when you think about what you want to build. And you're like, well, what does my application need? Well, it needs a player health. So you build a variable. So, but I just wanted to teach that point of assignment versus equals. I think that's an easy one to overlook when learning programming. I certainly did when I learned more, so still learning software. Okay, so next chapter or next problem. Variables vary. Variables are called variables because they can hold any value, and that value can change. It varies. For example, the following will print 20. So acceleration, boom. It will print 20 because we're reassigning the value of acceleration to 20. It overwrites whatever was being held in the acceleration variable before, just because so it's saying reduce by 100 here. So does it mean subtract by 100, or is it saying set it to 100? We'll figure that out in a sec. Oh, I see. It says reduce player health minus 100. Boom. Okay, so the teaching point here is it concurrency? But how programming languages go is by line by line. So line 1, line 2, line 3. So in JavaScript, if we have player health equals this, then the second line is the same variable, but we're reassigning it. It'll obviously take the second variable here. But in JavaScript, you declare that by saying const and then the name of your variable. So we'd say player health, and there's actually a little bit different casing. Player health, boom, equals that. And then if you want to reassign a variable, you use the prefix let. But this is not JavaScript, this is Python. So let's see if this works though. Looks like it's not assigning. So maybe we need to assign it like this. Boom. Okay, let's try. So it did go the assignment before each. Oh, I see. So we got to do it every single time. See if that works. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. So I hope that makes sense, because we're saying the player health is now assigned to the previous player health, which is pointing up here, the last one in the concurrency in the thread, and subtracted by 100. And then you're now reinstantiating that here. So I wonder if we don't even need all the equals. I'm going to try to remove them. See if we don't need it. I always have to do this with code, is like tinker around, try to break stuff, see what happens. No. Okay, so it looks like we do need to do that in Python. Sweet. Okay, we're learning. Let's do some math. Now that we know how to store and change the value of variables, let's do some math. Here are some examples of the common mathematical operators that is in Python syntax. So we have addition, subtraction, product, and division, or quotient is what they're calling it. Create a new variable called armored health on line 4. Okay. And it's equal to player health times this. Let's see. Sweet. Okay. That was easy. Easy peasy. We're cruising on through, guys. These are the fun ones. Okay, so let's create negative numbers in Python. In Python works in the way you probably expect. Just add a minus sign in front of the number. Assignment, we can see it there. Assignment, when our hero walks through poison, their health should be reduced. Right now, the hero is gaining 10 health instead of losing 10 health. Change the poison damage to be a negative. Okay, cool. So it looks like we just do that. And you can see they're reinstantiating the player poisoned health here, which is kind of cool. All right, guys, we are cruising through. We're level 4 already? I didn't even realize. When did that happen? We're level 4? Come on, folks. We're already almost level 5 too. This is so sweet. I feel I'm really going to enjoy. I know this is rudimentary Python stuff, but I've dove a little bit into Golang a little bit. I've dove into the serverless architecture a bit, and I'm super excited for backend engineering. I really am. I think it's going to pair nicely with my front end deal. So I'm super excited. Should be really fun. Let's dive in. Okay, so comments. Comments are lines that we can do to describe code, but they're ignored by the computer. It's not actually ran through the terminal. Comments are useful for adding reminders and notes to other humans. So looks like we have single line comments and then multi-line comments. Okay, so let's see. Looks like they want us to do a single line here. I believe that's it. Okay, sweet. That's awesome. We are cruising right along. So the F string in Python's, let's see, you can create a string with dynamic values using F strings in Python. I don't know what F strings are. Looks like this. So you go F and then, it's backticks. Okay. I got it. So you say F and race and okay. So this allows for us to plug in variables wherever we want when we use this F string. So if we want to make a new variable called new var and say this is a coding tutorial, just store some string or some value in there. In this F string, we could actually pop it in here. I'll say new var, and we'll see it pop out here. This is a coding tutorial. Whatever we put up here, we could plug it right into our print statement. So that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and remove that. And let me copy this back in here. So name is a race, or Jarl is a dwarf who is 37 years old. Sweet. Guys, we're level 5. We're cruising right along. I am such a fan of this boot.dev. I'll tell you what. I'm super excited. Every day, this is going to be a blast. I don't have a New Year's resolution, but doing this maybe once a day, 5, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, might be the New Year's res. We'll see. It's a little late. I think New Year's resolutionists, I think they say January 17th is when most people fall off. So I'm late to the party, but I think it's almost smarter to set a New Year's resolution either way before New Year's or well after it, because it's not about the New Year's hype. It's like not, it's just like you just fall in a new habit. It's not relative to the New Year's or whatnot. Okay, anyway, so variable names can't have spaces. They're continuous strings of characters. In Python, you should use snake case when creating variable names. It's common the rule of thumb for the language. By way of comparison, camel case is where the beginning of each new word except the first is capitalized. So I'm used to camel case, obviously pure insanity. This is funny. So camel case, I know snake casing is common with Python, and then camel casing is definitely the JavaScript ecosystem. You have Pascal casing where you capitalize it all, or at least the first of everything, and then for variables, I would actually do this with a snake casing. capitalized snake casing. Okay, so which one is snake casing? The underscore one. Sweet. So definitely verbose naming is very important. I think overdo it than underdo it, personally. Okay, so basic variable types. In Python, there are several basic data types. String types. Strings are basically text on the computer. It's your way to it's a notebook for the computer, basically. So strings, we could put whatever we want in here. It won't do math. It won't do anything. It'll just print all that gibberish out. So if we run it, oh, let's see. Well, let's see what it wants us to do. Oh, I see. It's asking what type this is, which is a string. So we could actually print it out here of the string, and boom. So you can see whatever we put here, all this gibberish, it's the computer's way to let us write whatever we want. That's how I like to think of a string. Let me undo this. There. Okay. Let's see. And then magic is true. That should be a Boolean, but it looks like they have made it a string for right now. So let's see how to, boom, Boolean right here. So fix the bug where the string should be a Boolean. So a Boolean is just true, false. It's basically what they used to do, I think, in computers before, ones and zeros. Just like 1 would represent true, 0 would represent false, vice versa. I'm not sure, but that's a Boolean. Your output is only a few characters off. Okay, it should be Boolean here, I thought. So fix bugs in code for player health should be an integer. Oh, I see. Boom. Alrighty, guys, we're cruising right along. Non-type variables, or is it okay? Not all variables have a value. Sorry, guys. Running half speed right now. We can declare an empty variable by setting it to none. Okay. Why do we set a variable to none? Value of an empty is this instance is none until we use the assignment operator to give it a value. None is not a specific string. Note that the none type is not the same as a string with a value of none. Sure. I believe it. Okay, so this copied the wrong thing. It says create the enemy variable here. That is none. Let's see. Boom. Okay. That's great. Oh, look at this. We got a video on a video. Videoception. How fun is that?
In this video, I'm going to explain the none type. We'll talk about what it is, why you might use it, some of the most common mistakes the developers make when working with
ChatGPT it.
Python.
Why use none
We'll create a variable here. I'll
in
call
Python,
it
and why to not use none.
Capital N. It's important to point out this is not the same as.
I wonder if you guys can hear this too. If this gets talking.
My age equals double.
Okay, so let's just Python it out or ChatGPT it out. So using none in Python is boom. It's the equivalent of setting a variable to null. It's just an empty placeholder. Okay, so here's an example of us using it. Why use none? Default parameter values is often to declare a value for a function in arguments. It's especially useful when the default value should be mutable. A list or a dictionary to avoid the common bug of using mutable default arguments. So it's basically instantiating an empty variable to say, okay, maybe we'll putting things in this variable at some point, but right now we have this empty variable. Okay, so placeholders, boom. Why not to use it? Overuse can be ambiguous. Unintended none values. Sweet. Common developer mistakes. Okay. Fine. We'll watch some of the video. We will watch some of the video.
String none, right? A string that just equal to 1. A none type is its own and the only possible value that a none type can have is the location, but you don't know what the value is. Write our logic.
Okay, so we understand why to use it at times.
Operator, the type function.
I don't see a strong point on mistakes, but so it seems like the none value is used to just instantiate a variable. If we're building some function, let's say the function is for sorting, and we're just empty array, set it to none initially, or an empty list or something. So okay, so dynamic typing. Sorry guys, my back itches so much. Python is dynamically typed. All this means is a variable can store any type, and that type can change. For example, if I make a number a variable, I can later change it. So is Python not type safe? Just because you can doesn't mean you should, is what I'm understanding. Yeah, you shouldn't because isn't there data memory leaks and stuff that associated to doing stuff like this? So changing this from a number to a string, or an integer to a string, or from a string to a Boolean, you shouldn't really do that with your data types. You should always keep strings if you're going to reassign them, if you're going to add a new variable. Same thing with integers. If you're going to do math, make sure everything is in integers or whatever types you need. Okay, so Is changing a type generally a good idea on Tuesdays? This is cheeky. Boot.dev is cheeky. What would they say if I said on Tuesdays? Nothing funny. Nothing. Yeah, sometimes. Maybe half a point. Okay, so dynamic typing. Python is dynamically typed. Oh, what kind of typing does, well, it says it right there, so I'm going to go with that one. All right, guys, we're cruising right along. Right along. Math with strings. Okay, so don't edit above this line. So we're going to concat these strings, which will just, so if we add two strings this together, if we say player sum equals player 1 health versus player 2 health, it won't actually add these two numbers together, not with strings. It'll actually it'll add the numbers together side by side. So it'll take the two strings and just put them side by side. It won't actually add 1100 plus 1200. It'll be 1200 and then 1100. So like this is what it'll end up being in string value. So let's see. Boom. 1200 plus 1100, right? See? So strings, you can't add them up like that. So let's see what we can do here. All right. So a concatenation is a fancy fancy word. Not worm. Fancy word for joining two strings. Full name now holds the value Lane Wagner. Notice how the extra space Lane in the first name Wagner is part of the variable. Okay, cool. Final result being Lane Wagner. So we could add a space if we want, but anyway, so let's edit line 9 and line 10. You have 1200 health. Edit line 9 so that player's 1 health says boom. Okay, so we're going to use an F string, I believe. We'll say you have player 1 health, and we'll copy this. And we'll use the other variable. You have player 2 health. So sweet. There's our two strings. Let's see if that worked. And it did. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. How many variables can be declared on the same line? I imagine 1, but oh, looks like I was wrong. We can save space when creating many view variables by declaring them in the same line. Okay, so maybe no limit. Interesting. That is so fun. Did not know you could do that. Learning something every day. Okay, so what is clean code? Code that runs quickly? No, it's code that is easy for other developers to understand and read. That's very important with development. It's not only machine readable. You want good code, but you also want, especially nowadays when computers are getting so quick, knowledge is advancing. It honestly becomes more about the DX, the developer experience, than it becomes about the machine readability. So making your code really readable is important. So for instance, you could have an email. You could have a variable that's just like E. That could represent email, and then you could have like EM for email middle, but like no one else is going to know what that means. So what you really want to do is declare it like email start, email middle, email end. Be verbose, be almost overly verbose when building variables. Okay, so let's see. An e-commerce store has configured. Where are we, by the way, in this whole series? Okay, sweet. We'll wrap it up at the last of chapter 2, and then we'll move on, and that'll make this episode. Okay, so email output. An e-commerce store has configured an automated receipt, but can't figure out how to print the email message in correct order. Challenge. Add some print statements to the end of code to expand the output. Thank you for shopping with us. Your total supply was such and such, and please consider filling out the survey. So I imagine we have to do a print statement, right? Let's see, print statement. Okay, so print will print the email start. So thank you for shopping with us. And then we'll print a F string, right? So your total today was, this is going to be kind of tricky. I guess we'll do the F string. You could probably do this another way. I'll say email middle, and then I will do total price. I think that'll do it. Yep. That looks about right. And then we'll do prints for this one as well. Please consider filling out the survey. Oh, we need the $sign, and then we'll print the F string here. And say, actually, we don't need the F string. We could just go ahead and print email end. And I think that's what we want, right? Did we miss any exclamation points or anything? Nope. Please consider filling out the search. Sweet. Alrighty. Guys, we are cruising. Level 6. Come on, folks. Who's doing this? Come on now. This is going to be great. I'm so excited. This is, I recognize this is like episode 2, episode 3. But hear me out. When we're episode 80, it's going to be so fun. We're going to have gone through so much stuff. It's going to be such a big journey. And I'm excited to see what we ultimately build. Like this is so awesome. Boot.dev. Let's set this out again real quick. The grand scheme is always important to keep in mind, right? The direction of where we're heading. So we have all these Python courses, which is going to be just awesome, right? And they seem to get easier. Let me zoom out a smidge for y'all. But we have all these Python courses, right? We're going to learn JavaScript, which is my bread and butter. So that's going to be fun and patch up any holes or learn something cool there. And then Go is just going to be a blast to learn. I cannot wait for that. Learning Docker is going to be so fun. Kubernetes, cryptography, like this is where it's going to start getting ridiculous, right? Learn advanced algorithms, right? And then we can kind of take this back-end knowledge and maybe I'll take it in conjunction with a few things and we can start doing some real cool stuff with it. So I'm pretty excited with where we're heading. So, okay, let's get back to this. So playoff average. Alan's favorite NBA basketball team just played a 7-game series in the playoffs. He needs help writing a program that will calculate the average points scored by his team throughout the 7 games. Challenge. Using this, okay, assign the average score of the 7 games to the average score variable. Tips. After completing the challenge, okay, so average score. Let's see. Average score. So we got to do, what we could do is keep it easy. Game 1 plus game 2 score plus game 3 score plus all of our game scores, right? I had to reread it, right? Game 5. That's funny. Game 6 plus game 7, right? And what we could do is we could do a lot of stuff. So we can actually make this a sum of scores. This is kind of fun, right? We don't have to do this, but there's a lot of ways to cut the pie. You could do sum of scores minus total games, right? So or divided by total games. I think that'll work. Total games. Let's see. Zach, what the heck? What do you mean? What average score? Round average score. Oh, I see. We didn't declare 7. Oops. Forgot to do that part. Forgot to do the math part, folks. Forgot to do that. There's 7 games. Add all the games together, divided by 7. But the fun part is if the scores came into an array, you could just pass in the length of the array. We'll hop into that later down the road. But yeah, a little bit of math here. Fun. So we are on the last one, guys. This has been quite a journey, right? Episode 2 or 3, I think 3. Guys, I have a list of stuff here. My calendar. Oh, I can't show y'all. It's on the board though. I got a calendar of all these dates, all this stuff of when I'm putting out what. So I'm super excited. Okay, so Tim's poem. Tim is working on a program that writes a poem to the console. However, Tim is having trouble getting the poem to print on only 2 lines. Challenge. Use string concatenation to assign values to the line 1 and line 2 variables correctly. Line 1 should include part 1 and part 2, and line 2 should include part 3 and 4. So what we could do is say part 1, oops, did not mean to be caps, plus part 2, and I believe part 3 plus part 4. Well, let's see what we got. Proper spacing, we're in there, folks. Guys, we're level 6 wizard. Come on now. Come on, don't be messing about. Don't be messing. Oh, I've been in guess mode this whole time. Uh-oh, that's dangerous. Guys, don't be messing about, though. Okay? Don't be messing about. I'll see you on the next episode.